All right, welcome all of our RAIN partners, prospects, customers, everybody around the globe. This is a great pleasure to be able to introduce to you all today Dr. Susan Bostian. Before I get into that, as it is my privilege and honor, I just want to again reiterate how fantastic it is to have this platform each week at this time. It's 2 p.m. Mountain Time, 4 p.m. Eastern in the United States. But if you're in the UK, that's add 7 hours. Central Europe, add 8 hours. If you're in Russia, add 10 hours. Wherever you're at this time, each and every Wednesday, we're going to continue our science and education calls as we love to be able to give individuals the perspective and understanding as to why our products here at RAIN are so powerful and so unique, why we continue to see so many testimonials on our products. And that's, again, one thing that I love to do in my position. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Russ Cowley, the Vice President here at RAIN. Each time I go and talk about RAIN as a company to a prospect, as a three-way call, or as I present a meeting, the part where I get to tell my testimony, my experience with the products, and that of my families is what gives me the greatest purpose and to do what I get to do every single day. And whereas each one of us will have challenges in one area or another, the rewarding mechanisms of RAIN as it relates to the business, as it relates to the health of the products and the community that we get to build together is so rich and so rewarding. And part of that community that we've been able to build over, for me, the last 6.5 years or so is being able to meet wonderful individuals like Dr. Susan Bostian, who I think it was probably an late 13 or early 2000.
Early.
Early. We were able to meet. I remember many trips going out east to Pennsylvania, where Susan's from, and being able to do meetings and get to know her. And it's just, again, a great privilege. And I appreciate her so much for hopping on today with us to be able to teach our wonderful RAIN partners about our products. I will let Dr. Susan Bostian kind of give some of her background, but I will say this: she's got decades of experience, decades of knowledge and education that gives her a great credence in talking about our products in a practitioner way to help other people understand, how good these are for individuals. And the testimonies and experiences I know that she's gained and seen
a lot. It grows every day.
Every day. It just goes to show that there is so much great benefit. So, Dr. Bostian, please, would you mind just introducing yourself for a few minutes? And then we'll
like I said, RAIN and I go way back. Most of my clients call me Dr. Susan. That's kind of how I'm known. I have many degrees. The easiest one is Integrative Holistic Health Specialist is my official title, but I am also in a Doctor of Naturopathy program. I'm one of those lifelong learners, so I am continually in a PhD program somewhere trying to learn more about the body chemistry, and learning what you put in your body and how it affects your ultimate health outcomes. And that's the premise of my practice with a lot of what I do. And again, I'm trained in everything from energetic medicine all the way to what's called photobiomodulation. I'm a laser specialist and a cryotherapist as well. So I have niche, I'm all over, but I love to learn. But my passion with RAIN started when I was introduced to the product in the early times, believe it or not. And most my testimony has been around the internet more than Google, I think. I'm not sure. But it is a phenomenal product. It was your flagship product that was introduced. And the minute I found my personal success, that's when I dove in, started doing my research, starting doing my testing on the product. And like I said, it has been the staple of my life personally since I found out about it, and is also in my personal practice here in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Soul has been my #1 selling supplement every year in a row since I've been in business. So it outsells everything, and unfortunately, people buy things, but it's a phenomenal product. And usually it's hard for me to keep in stock sometimes, but it's a wonderful product. And I have been teaching about it everywhere I go. So that's what we do.
What's neat about Dr. Susan is, yes, when she became part of RAIN back in 2000, again, the early days, we only had Soul, right? That was the only.
That was it.
It wasn't until later 2014 that we came out with Core. Since we've come out with Form and Bright and all these other products, share as well. And over these next few weeks, we're going to continue to learn about each one of these products individually. But perhaps, Susan, again, maybe you could give us kind of the understanding and the strength of why a seed is so powerful. And maybe take for a few minutes on how you teach individuals, which is such a great way, because it teaches at my level, which is a layman's level. And so maybe, again, you could give individuals.
I try to take all the knowledge and put it into words that everyone can understand, rather than like the dissertation thesis I have to write for the other PhD program I'm in right now.
That's right.
What we try to do with nutrition and health, and why seed-based nutrition is so vitally important to understand, is think about what a seed does. And I relate this. Everybody right now in my area is gardening. They're taking seeds, they're putting them in the dirt. One seed can get you a raspberry plant that will yield about 30 quarts of raspberries. One seed, that's it. One strawberry plant was started with one seed, and one strawberry plant, the way it's genetically designed, can yield, if you water it and take care of it, probably about 1.5 quarts to 2 quarts of strawberries per season. So if you look at the power of a seed, just one, and what it gives you all of the DNA and biological information you need to function. Every mineral and micromineral and nutrient that we need in our bodies so that our bodies function at what I'm going to say 100% capacity comes from seed-based nutrition. Every fruit and vegetable that you eat has come from some type of seed. So understanding why starting with seeds in supplements is important, is having that basic understanding of how your body operates. Your body wants stuff. It does. The question is how are you feeding that want? And with us, I know from my background and what I do that seed-based nutrition, if you start with there, your end result is going to be 10 times better than some of the other things that I unfortunately are for sale on the market right now. But that's why seed-based nutrition is so vital, and understanding that how the seeds are grown, the seeds that Rain selects to put in their products. I love reading new products. I was sharing a research article with Russ earlier today, but if you knew the level of knowledge that I knew, you go, that's why I should be taking Soul every single day. That's why all of my children should be taking Soul every single day, and even your dog sometimes. So, but that's that understanding that I have, and I'm trying to let everybody know about that in an easy way so that they can relate it to their normal lives and go, oh, that's why when I take it, my pain goes away. Oh, that's when I take it, I feel better. I have more mental clarity. Oh, that's why when I take it, oh, my rash went away that I've had for 17 years and nothing has worked. So, but that's why that all of the material we need that our body needs comes from seeds. So why not start with that?
So there's a lot of questions that we've got over the years. The standard one that tends to happen is how much should I take and how should I take it? And I know that you are able to see a lot of your patients, and so you probably have a little bit more of a regime. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're not in the prescribe or the diagnose industry, but sometimes, again, to give people a little bit of premise, because I myself have been in moments where I felt a little worn down. If I felt a little nasty, I'm not feeling well, whatever it is, I'll take 10 Soul in a day, right? But on the standard,
run a half marathon, you'll do that too.
That's right. See, but on a standard, I'm usually taking one core and one Soul. I love to take my Soul in the morning, my core at the night, but that's just a pattern I've fallen into. Right. What do you see as kind of the frequency?
The frequency of, and again, it's based on patient need when they walk in the door. Do you have pain, management, autoimmune issues? Do you want to boost your immune? Are you losing weight? Are you recovering from surgery? Everybody's different. But the standard protocol is one Soul a day. That is pretty much on the money. If you get on that regimen and stay on that regimen and never falter from that, you're going to be pretty good. And you're also going to build up a really decent immune system. If people understood the power of black cumin seed, it would be a no-brainer to them at this point. Everybody should be on one Soul a day, hands down, no questions asked. Core is that great, we call that the detox product. It's that grounding earth product that you need. That's usually my lunchtime go-to, and honestly, that's what I do. I'm still a mix with water kind of girl with that. But again, understanding where your biology needs are during that time. So standard, I say 1 sol a day at least for everybody. And the beauty of sol is it's safe for everybody on the planet. That's it. Everybody on the planet can take sol. You can freeze it as an ice pop for a 2-year-old. And I have 3 little grandkids under the age of 3. So freezing them as ice pops is the way to go with them. And honestly, there have been cases where with my teenagers, we've applied it topically to some pretty interesting issues, and it's, it goes away. So a lot of different things, but 1 a day is standard for sol and core. And again, pending your need, your diagnosis, where you're at on the spectrum. I won't tell you my inbox right now is about COVID, those who've been diagnosed, those who are exposed, how many sols should I take every day? And again, it depends on where you're at. But again, at least 1 and 1 a day is standard for if you really want to increase your health goals to the next level.
So one of the things over the years that I've learned for myself is there's the pro-inflammatory and then there's anti-inflammatory. And I think a lot of times people don't understand the pro-inflammatory to really get the significance of an anti-inflammatory. And so I've in the past looked at the pro-inflammatories or what? Those are the things that life just hits us with. If it's the air we breathe, exercise, stress,
mental,
right? Yeah, all of those things are those pro-inflammatories. And we fail to sometimes realize that we need to create balance, in that. And so the product and the studies that we have on Sol Red as it relates to the anti-inflammatories is significant. What would you say in relation to understanding that we need to create balance so that when you say take it every day, you're
right.
Also, and this is my,
you're giving everybody an even platform, basically. You froze a little bit, but I know where you're going with that, so I'm going to keep going. So what happens is, and the other thing is with pro-inflammatory.
Okay.
Yep. So what I see with this, and here's a piece that people here don't understand. Pro-inflammatories affect you at different levels. If you already have a nice, even basis in your system, those pro-inflammatory issues they won't affect you as much if your body is already at an even, what we call homeostasis. Your C-sol's even, basically. So that's the first thing. But when you are on sol and black, we know that black cumin seed from the study is 281 times stronger than some other things as an anti-inflammatory. We know it reduces free radicals to an amazing result. When you have that in your body, the markers in your system that create inflammation won't behave in the erratic behavior they normally do. So it gives your body this, I know how to behave, I know how to stay in line, I know how to replicate cells so they don't get sick and they don't have any issues. It's basically like, I look at pro-inflammatories as 2-year-olds throwing temper tantrums. We don't want them, okay? That's a no. But if you have the right anti-inflammatories in your body, all those little 2-year-olds, they stay in line and they are really nice, behaved little children. And that's how I kind of relate anti-inflammatories versus pro-inflammatories. But again, giving your body that nice, even foundation so that it can operate the right way. And that's one of the other things. And on that, just to drive that point home, I have several clients who have issues and who've had issues, from mental issues all the way to dealing with high stress impact. A lot of people are now losing their jobs and things. And they have said to me over and over again, this is funny, just think about how this works. They always say to me, oh, well, I've been on sol for 2-3 months and I haven't noticed anything. I said, let me ask you 3 questions. I said, how have you responded to A, B, C, D? And she goes, oh, well, it hasn't bothered me that much. Oh, no, that doesn't bother me that much. Well, no. I said, no, wait a second. If you go back to the intake you took 3 months ago, you were 10s and all of those, you were off the scales. That was bothering you. It was driving you nuts. You were aggressive. You had short-term memory problems. So you're telling me that all of those are now 1s and they're good. So I think sometimes people don't realize when they do get nutritionally solvent, how many other things fall into place and they're actually normal for a change. Right. So that's how the way I can explain it.
Have you seen those moments that people that have taken it for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 6 months, they may need to be told to remind, like you say, but I've also seen people when they've gone off and then that's when they almost notice more.
Exactly. That all the time. I have patients who come in and they say, well, I went off it for 2 months, but now this is back. My hair's falling out again. I'm tired again. My A1C is back up to 8.4. I said, well, what did change? Well, I didn't stop taking Sol. I said, and I know me personally, and I have been on Sol every day religiously since we started. I took 1 week off, and I will never take a week off again. As a matter of fact, I think Barman has an email from me that if he was ever going to sell the company, he had to sell it to me. But it's a phenomenal thing of what happens when your body works the right way. It wants to stay working the right way. And through seed-based nutrition, Sol can do that. And the way it works, it's very simpler. I have a background in biochemistry with body, the understanding how calcium works with zinc, works with phosphorus, works with magnesium in your body, how that relates to your brain, mental health. And how your hormones work. I understand how Sol can affect all of that in your body, everything. So regardless of your question, I can probably answer it because I've been studying that for years as the relationship of what does black cumin seed, grape Chardonnay seed, raspberry seed, and D-virus, what does that do biochemically in the body that gives your body that basis to operate the correct way? And it is, when you know those answers, it makes perfect sense. It's like almost like a sense of enlightenment almost with that. And I tell people, look, I'll tell you what, you try it for 90 days, because that's how long for the liver can turn over to create positive permanent change. 90 days, and I haven't had anybody yet ever tell me that they haven't gotten better in some way, shape, or form after 90 days on Sol.
It's incredible. Literally every day. I'm just like you. Every day I've got it right here on my desk. I actually have a whole bunch.
And my kids are not allowed to take the last one out of the fridge. They know. Don't take the last Sol. Don't.
Right. We need that. Well, I know that these calls, ladies and gentlemen, as we continue these over the next 6, 8, 10 weeks, we'll certainly be able to keep them going longer as we create a library of information for you. But this great opportunity to be able to introduce Dr. Susan Bostian to you all. Dr. Susan, in the last few minutes here, what would be maybe the biggest piece of advice that you see through all of your patients, all of your practices, to be able to, one, why again it's so important to take it every day, but again, two, what are the things you say to help them understand why they need to take it every day?
I'm going to answer why they should take it every day is because Sol is one of those, if you look at the seed content and what each one of those seed does, it hits almost everything biochemically in the body that you need so that your body can operate at what we call optimal prime capacity. And it's regardless of whether you're already sick, have an issue, or you're trying to avoid an issue. It's all there. And if you want, that's why where my background is in the seeds, I understand what black raspberry can do and black cumin seed oil and what grape Chardonnay and how they all work together. So that's the why. And as far as explaining to people, I'm like, they had absolutely nothing to lose other than better health or increasing their health. Nothing. And it's a very important thing to understand. Like they walked in my door for a reason, usually because something's wrong. Well, let's fix that. But then I tell everybody else who comes in, oh, well, I don't have anything wrong with me. Well, especially in today's society, well, don't you want to stay that way? You have to give your body the right foundation so that it stays that way. And that's usually why I explain it to people. And honestly, and you know me, Russ, if you saw my inbox on LinkedIn, your eyes would roll. I get pitched everything. Tons. I can't even, I'm like, oh my gosh. Rain is the only company that I will consistently stand behind 100% all the time. And honestly, if I sell a supplement, it's the first thing I mention to somebody. First thing. Doesn't matter. And you know how many companies I work with. But Rain by far is the absolute top-notch company to be a part of.
Yeah.
So
we appreciate that so much, Susan, and just your passion, your loyalty, the dedication, and more than anything, I'm excited for all of our Rain partners to get to know you a little bit better as we do this series. So everybody, thank you so much for participating and being with us today.
Be sure to tune in again next week. We'll keep these calls going as we learn specifically about Solve, So Red, Core, Bend, our Pure products.
Yes.
Learn a little bit more about each one of those.
I'm excited to share about Pure.
We were talking about that one this morning. Yes.
No.
I'm excited to learn more from you.
I am too.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a great one, and we will catch you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks.